Number 3 qualification is that you must be a grandparent, and in these they don't just consider the age. You must produce birth certificates of your grandchildren before being admitted in this exclusive club of some white-haired individuals.
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hi everyone. I was watching a YouTube video and this young lady said this.
Good afternoon. My name is Sianda Muhutsiwa. I'm a writer, a mathematician, a former UN youth reporter, an associate professor at the University of Iowa, and a coordinator of the prestigious International Writing Program. At the age of 26, I have already cycled through many careers.
Did you hear that? An associate professor at the age of 26. I went digging and realized that this lady graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics from the University of Botswana in October 2016, before graduating with a Master of Fine Arts from the University of Iowa, and by 2019 she was an associate professor at the University of Iowa without a PhD, of course. But let me bring you close home, and you must have watched this interview on Jeff Koinange Live, where he was interviewing a Mokorino by the name of Dr. David Washira, and this is what the young doctor had to say.
So you started teaching?
Yeah, so I started teaching. I was a college professor at quite a young age. I was 22 when I started teaching at university.
A college professor at the age of 22. Although I must admit that in some states in the United States of America, the title professor is used by anyone who is lecturing at the university. But at the same time, you must admit that there's a lot of meritocracy in that country, among other European countries and even some other countries around the world. But come back to our motherland, Kenya, and what we have in this country are ancestors masquerading as university professors. Forget about the guidelines given by the Commission for University Education on how to become an associate professor in this country, that you must have an earned PhD, at least 3 years teaching experience at the university as a senior lecturer, a minimum of 48 publication points in some referred scholarly journals, blah blah blah. Forget about all those. There are only 4 qualifications that one must fulfill if he or she wants to become a professor in this country. I repeat, must fulfill. Number 1 is that you must have white hair all over your head. I remember this photo of Dr. Lukoy Atwoli, and I used to see him write in the Daily Nation. The photograph he used to use then was a photograph where he had got some white hair right here, some small part of his head. But when did he become a professor? He only became a professor when the whole head became white. Qualification number 2. If you don't have some white hair on the head, then a bald head will suffice. And it's not just a bald head. Ni kihara imefika kwa mgongo huku. Number 3 qualification is that you must be a grandparent. And in these, they don't just consider the age. You must produce birth certificates of your grandchildren before being admitted in this exclusive club of some white-haired individuals. Qualification number 4. As sad as it sounds, you must belong to the right tribe. It is easier to become a professor at Chuka University if you are a Chuka or a Meru or a Mount Kenyan for that reason, than it is to become the same at the University of Kabianga if you're from Mount Kenya. The same thing applies. It is easier to become a professor at the University of Eldoret if you are a Kalenjin than if you are from Kisii or Luoland or whichever the part. I mean, it is very, very sad. And I'm telling you, we have a problem in this country, and it is a big, big problem. I mean, how did we end up capping professorship in every department or in every school, that now you are told you in the Department of Physics, you cannot have more than 3 professors. You in the School of Education, you cannot have more than 10 professors. And therefore you cannot become a professor, irregardless, like our president says, of the amount of research you've done, of the amount of work that you have done, of the experience that you have, because there is no vacancy in that department. And now you have to sit back and wait until one of the professors dies or transfers or is sacked for you to take that professorship. I mean, how did we even end up pegging professorship to the salaries, that we cannot have so many professors because the salary is going to become too huge? I mean, there's a problem in this country. You must admit that there's a problem in this country. A big time problem. Who is Kenya's youngest professor ever? Is it Dr. Purity Ngina? I mean, she graduated, yes, with a PhD at the age of 28, but when I tried to look across the internet, there is nowhere where I can see that she has become a professor. Is it Professor Kithure Kindiki who became a professor at the age of 30-something? That age is good, but I need to see a professor in this country. My heart will only relax. My heart will only feel at peace when I see younger and younger professors. I need to see a 23-year-old professor in this country. I need to see a 26, 27 years old professor in this country. This kind of thing of having an exclusive club of some bald-headed individuals, that they're the professors, should come to an end. I'm not against age. Everybody is aging. But all I'm saying is that we need younger and fresh minds to become professors in this country. And by the way, one does not need to have a master's or a PhD to become a professor. It is known that Professor Magoha does not have a PhD. It is also an open secret that Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o doesn't have a master's or even a PhD. Yet these people became professors because of the amount of contributions that they did in their areas of study. And it is in this regard that I call upon my alma mater, Kenyatta University, to invite me and make me a professor of YouTube. Look at the kind of work that I'm doing here. I mean, look at the kind of videos that I used to produce then and the kind of videos that I'm producing right now. The quality has improved. Look at the intro, look at the outro. I mean, look at the kind of video that I did recently, where I was able to analyze the temperature of hell, and now the sinners in this country and beyond are aware of exactly what awaits them in hell. I mean, this is the kind of things that I'm doing here. They should call me and then tell me to kneel down before the chancellor of the university. And then the chancellor says, rise up, professor of YouTube, without a master's, without a PhD, because of the kind of contributions that I'm doing over here. Forget about the number of subscribers. It is not the best way to measure success on these streets. It's not the best way to measure the kind of influence, the positive influence that one is having on these streets. In my next video, I shall talk about my never-ending journey of graduating with a master's degree in chemistry. Thank you so much. I'm out.